man from the mountains miraculous sage Sri Gagangiri Maharaj. Foreword. Autobiography of an Yogini in short. Mamta Kulkarni. As there is a saying, cause has an effect concealed in it and an effect has cause revealed in it. It means every child is born for cause when after few years he becomes a doctor, an engineer etc. That is its effect, from which you get reason of his birth in a particular family, in particular 7. Lineage. I'm Mamta Kulkarni, born in India to a Hindu Brahmin family, studied at Joseph Convent in Mumbai, Bombay. Just as with me, due to my mother's own half unrealized desire got me temporarily to brush with a profession in Bollywood industry, which no doubt gave me name, money, power, but got me later to the actual cause of my birth, which was realized to me by my master, and thereafter after many occult experiences with God and his world had me into a spiritual bath for 12 years. 8. Like I was shooting for one of my shoot in Mauritius. It was sunset times. I was gazing sun for several minutes and I was internally saying Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I repeated this mantra several times and suddenly the whole sun rotated in spiral 360 degrees way 9. Charging towards me, I was shocked and rubbed my eyes thinking it to be some type of hallucination, but no, it was not. Charging towards me, my heartbeat went double speed. As it almost came closer, I went inside and shouted at my sister to come out and watch what was happening, and as we came out the sun stood back to the same position from where it began and calmed as if nothing had happened. After this incident I went to San Francisco to perform concert, so I went to Lord Vishnu's temple over there, and the main bandit, spiritual priest of the temple came to me and said, "You have seen aura of God?" I told him no and asked how he knew. He told me of some signs on my face, around my eyes. Then when in room I recollected of the Mauritius stuff. Still, since nothing was assured 100%, so I brushed it. Though after some years I read about one name written in Adme eyes, from Karnataka, autobiography, where she encountered similar incident, but she didn't run and Divine Mother revealed herself to her, though sooner after this incident, after which 10. Divine Mother revealed to me in her most beautiful portrayal in form, sound and behavior. After seeing Divine Mother in her manifested form made me say one thing to myself: no one female deserves to be addressed as most beautiful, only Divine Mother, and if one calls herself or thinks herself to be beautiful then should think twice. Now I will take my readers on my birth time. This was later on was told to me by my both grandmothers and my mother. 11. Once when I was 6 to 7 years old, I was playing with some girls in our home kitchen, and as we were playing water went from the tap, so each one went and tried the tap, water was gone, so accidentally I told my friends, "See, now I will touch the tap and water will pour." As I went and touched the tap, water came pouring down. My mother's father, that's my grandfather who was back, shouted at me and my mother for spoiling my head. So my mother gave back to her father and he left our house, so I immediately went to my mother and asked her what was it, as till then I knew nothing about what had transpired on my birth. And my mother told me that she was in labor room. Father's mother, that's my great-grandmother, was outside, who happened to knock off to a short nap at around 4:35 in morning, and Divine Mother Parvati came to her and told her that she is coming in form of her granddaughter and to give the girl to be born her name, and my name was kept as Padmavati in years at name ceremony. But actually it was to be named Yamai, as Padmavati is a name of Lakshmi and it was Parvati in form of Yamai that came in vision. 12. Of my grandmother Parvati's, this mother's temple is in Maharashtra, India, on a very huge mountain. This was the photo given to me by my great-grandmother, and best part, my grandmother mentioned to me no one in the family could ever make a successful visit to this temple. Most of them came back as each one had some uncanny experience to reveal. It was only afterwards, with the grace of 13. This spiritual sage with his blessings, I with my hairdresser, we went for her visit. Best part, in middle of the journey I realized I didn't carry her photograph and the journey was really long and steep. It was 9 to 10 in night and still we had many miles to make to the temple, so I told my hairdresser let's sleep and let us start only in morning, so we slept, but in morning as we got up, my hairdresser got up saying Divine Mother came to her in a vision and told her what was the need to come all the way to see her so far, as she was with us only. This is the same form of Parvati who came to Lord Rama when he was searching Sita in jungles when demon, Asura, Ravan had kidnapped Sita. Mother Parvati tested Rama 3 times by coming in form of Sita, as Mother Parvati didn't believe Lord Shiva that the person who is searching for his wife in jungles is form of God. As Jagat Mata Parvati questioned her husband Jagat Pitta Shiva that if he was any form of God then how come he is searching for his wife, and that, why is he crying over his wife like any ordinary human beings do? So Mother Parvati tested Rama 3 times by making 14. Her entire look as Sita to see whether Lord Rama recognizes her or not, and Lord Rama on seeing Parvati bent down on Mother Parvati's feet and addressed her as Yama. Yama means Lord of Death, and Mai means Mother, that means Mother of Death. Parvati's another name too is Mahakali. Kali means equals time/Kal, Maha means equals great, Mother who is cause of birth, life and death. 15. This temple was built on Mother's own arrival and 16. Was revealed to her devotees on her being there. People in that village all have some spiritual brush, an experience beyond ordinary human perception. Lots of miracles about her, and they call this place as a Jagrat/awakened place/Astahan, with lots of occult experiences. After many such more occult experiences confirmed me that my birth was for some other spiritual purpose altogether. 17. Through which it established me into 12 years of spiritual path, which this Christ-like sage made me realized in his formless aspect. In formless aspect means, this is this sage's power to make his disciple to go and sit in a cave, in jungle, or in a country miles away from him, and merely with divine visions and play make you realize yourself. Though with vigorous penance and discipline in yoga, yoga's actual meaning is, union of body, 1001st and spirit, but without him in actual form. This what makes a real sage, a master, a guru. 18. 19. Please don't make a mistake between these sages and your Rasi Wallabubas, the ones who tie black/reed threads around your wrist, or these literature parroted ones, or those who you see giving pravachans on scripts like Gita, Vedas, Purans, etc. It is like seeing human body from outside and tell names of organs from outside to a surgeon who literally operates with his own hands and have seen and operated on each body organs of human. Is that big difference between both? And not even those that who make you remove 10 rings from your fingers and make you wear another 10 or make you sit in various directions. As sages like mine above have realized God's infinite persona of him being everywhere, or not even those who make God sit in one and make you sit in another direction, or make you demolish or change 10 homes as there is some vastudosh, bad vibrated house, or worst make you feel as 20. Though you are born with worst planet position on this earth in your horoscope. Or as if there could not be worst sinner than you on this entire earth. Probably you are facing the worst phase in your lives in terms with money, family, career, love, etc. But it has different cause and obvious solutions to them than lesser causes, as your houses, rings on fingers, etc., etc. This sage did penance for million of years in forest named Gita in India, where no man had stepped before. 21. As far as memorizing entire Gita, well, there are many who will parrot to you entire Gita, Bible, Ramayana. For them I will narrate you one small incident. On an deserted, lonely island there were 3 Christians. They were there for several years and were repeating 3 words only as their prayers, which were, "We are 3 and you are 3, please have mercy on 22 us." This was their only prayer for so many years. And stories of their miracles were spreading far and near. Once spiritual heads of the churches on hearing these stories planned to visit them, On visiting them they asked them their prayers which they addressed to God, so they repeated, "We are three and you are three, please have mercy on us." The learned church's heads priests started larging and making fun of them and said, "You idiots, this is not pray." Hearing this, the three guys fell at the priest's feet and begged them to teach them some prayers. Feeling pity, they taught them a huge 10 to 20 lines praise. They stayed there for 15 days. Every day the three guys would fall 2 to 3 times at the priest's feet to repeat the same prayers. After staying for 15 days they planned to leave. They wished them and parted from the deserted island with boat. It was night time. As these priest heads were in middle of the sea, they turned back to see those three so-called idiots walking on water and running towards them, and as they came near they again fell at the 23 priest's feet and said, "Please, please, we again forgot, kindly can you repeat that prayer again?" Now it was turn of those priests, heads of church, to fall at those so-called three idiots' feet, and they said how sorry they were of underestimating them and thought that only those 100 lines the only way to reach God, and told them to continue with their 3-word prayers only. This sums how God are tired with those same lines. So speak from your hearts and that's your prayers. It's like singing every day same song. One day you will say, "Please can you sing something else?" 24. As I and mere this sage's devotee, his teachings made me improve my life, my habits, which I had many before my spiritual endeavor, Today I see entire Samaj society, whole world destroyed by these or worst habits, and if this is the condition today, then what will happen to the 25 generation who will be born from these habituated parents, and what type of deteriorated future are we going to offer the future to come? This made me to have pen to book, as many lives are already destroyed, to stop future generation not to be swept in extreme directions and behaviors which they have already to some a large extent. Is this effort from me, as within me I thought had I to wait to write when I became old, as life and divinity would have some more gems to offer me, what would be the face of humanity by the time I wrote the book? I hope I would not be too late, is an effort from me. 26. Even I encountered many Babas before meeting this sage, and as there is a saying, once you have 24-karat gold with you, then you don't go after 18-karat and least with only gold-plated one. The point for me to get bent to book is that this sage has managed to change my life from far, so should not only me, many should benefit, as today we are in dark age. Even if you are straight, you may come in contact with wrong friends, wrong habits, which may not only destroy your life, your career, but also your families. A selfish person on finding a pot of gold want to keep everything for him, but a selfless person wants everyone to taste the honey. Please read this book, apply changes to yourself, see your life, your relationships change, and then if you feel to know the sage, you may visit his ashrams, which are spread all over India. 27. But on second thought, if you apply his teachings to your day-to-day life, then it is as good as visiting him, as whenever you think of him your mere thought will have reached him. 28. 29. Sri Chaitanya Gagangiri Nath is a miraculous sage, rishi from Himalayas, who did arduous penance of 600 spiritual years. Only for Manavkalyan, human evolution, came down to dwell amongst everyday, ordinary, laborers, farmers, and family-engrossed people. His spiritual penance was such he could even raise dead, and mere with his locks of hair could make a rock which covered a cave would just roll aside, which could in ordinary ways would require 10 to 20 hands to roll it aside. His penance was such he could even raise dead to alive. With his mere ash, a form of powder, worst of diseases which otherwise declared non-curable, cured, and patients from I.C.C.U. intensive care units, would be told to go home in few days' time, which otherwise doctors had declared a hopeless case. 30. May I narrate you one such incident which took place with my mother, who was in hospital in I.C.C.U. for 1 month. Doctors gave up on her completely. During the entire month there were all types of so-called gold-plated, 18-karat babas making rounds, and each one claiming her out today, some after 2 days, others on 5 days, etc. It was on 25th day and 31. Doctors had totally given up on my mother. I happened to fall asleep outside the ward, and in my half-sleep I saw this sage's face, and immediately I woke up and told myself how in the world in these 2 months I forgot him. Though later on I realized these real sages make you try everything and everyone first, as original is never in haste to disclose itself, just like in search of true D-grade flawless diamond, innately you land up holding even zircon. S1, S2 or VS1, VS2 then VVS2 class, then VVS1 and ultimately a flawless D. When everything fails, that's when they show their actual power. It was 8 in the evening. This sage's ashram comes 2 to 3 hours from where I was. I immediately took my driver and drove to his ashram. As I reached this Christ-like sage was awake sitting alone, as knowing I would be there I went up to him, didn't say anything. He looked up, told me to take tulsi leaves and put his ash on it and feed my mother. I took his vibhuti, energized powder of his penance, rushed to the hospital, which I reached almost 12 o'clock at midnight. I was told not to go this time as patient needs rest. 32. I still refused and insisted only 5 minutes, which they allowed me. I rushed to her side. She had several tubes on her, but somehow I still managed to feed the sage's vibhuti, ash, in her mouth. And I came out and went to sleep. In morning when I visited my mother, she opened her eyes bright for first time in so many days. Second, she said that sage came to her in her dream and told that you had slept too much, now wake up. This was first time my mother spoke to me in 30 days. Next, her actual doctor, who was absent for entire 1 month, came, and within 2 to 3 days she was shifted from my CCU. And next 3 to 4 days she was taken home. This is what I mean, this sage's formless mechanism. Here still I visited him, but my spiritual penance tapas, he was completely absent in form, yet he enlightened me. 33. 34. That's what I mean, you don't need to see him in person. In further pages I will tell you how he will come to you. And best part, when I was taking my mum out from the hospital, 2 nurses were talking to each other, yet Jane Willie Thigh, i.e. Kokzachi Hogai High. How come she was not going to survive? How come she is going back? 35. After this miracle there were many. My father, who is the most practical person on this earth, who really didn't believe anyone unless tested with 100% confidence, became a regular visitor to this sage's ashram, who insisted me to visit him. But I was very busy with my work then, but as they say, before time, and more than your destiny, no one has got earlier or more. One incident my father revealed to me about this sage. Put your feet in water for an hour and see what happens to your skin. So imagine this sage did penance in water for many million years. So Abhivizoli, his legs were in delicate condition and flesh of legs eaten by fish. So some group of surgeons who were devotees of the sage insisted on taking him to hospital, but sage put them off, saying they will be okay in coming time, but still they refused to listen to the 36. Sage. Ultimately, after several insistence, the sage pulled his half leg of 1 foot and told those surgeons to take with them and have it operated, and seeing them totally shocked and almost uncollapsed state, he put his leg back to the same fit and had it attached back as if nothing had transpired in the first place. Almost all followers report a miracle or two. 1 Mr. Anand Boat, a fingerprint expert, says that when his wife was diagnosed with a tumor, Gagangiri Maharaj gave her a marigold leaf and advised her to eat a petal of it each day. Within 15 days her X-rays revealed that the tumor had become small considerably. Shortly after, it disappeared. What keeps drawing people is the sage's power. 37. About which many have uncanny tales to narrate. 1 Mr. Dr. Pradawan, a gynecologist, was suddenly confronted with a powerful hard-hitting headache which refused to lessen in spite of various treatments. Suspecting black magic and in distress, she came to the yogi sage. At the mention of black magic, as pre mentions 38, Maharaj gave me a stern look, He saw my condition. He took the coconut I offered him and tapped my head. "Everything will be okay now," Maharaj said. At his touch the throbbing stopped. Reaching home I placed the coconut on kalash/pot in the temple of my house. The next morning I was aghast/shocked to see that the coconut was having burn marks all over. Worse, on lifting it I found that the water in the kalash had turned the blood red. Being a Hatha-yogi, the sage has mastered the art of Kriyakalpa, the ability to renew his bodily organs, which is apparently the key to immortality. This sage is known to remove his intestines, give them good wash, dry them and put them back, which is mastery of Hatha Yoga. These Hatha yogis are also called as Agaras, whose first guru is Lord Dattatreya. And whose idol is Lord Shiva, who is formed a tribute of Sadashiva. These Agaras have known to have interacted with the spirits. 39. http://uta.b/kdiukfroz. This the URL address of the video where the sage's life and his miracles have been captured. Please watch. There are 2 videos dedicated to the sage. Just type Mamta Gagangiri and you will see videos. 40. My father was telling many miracles of this sage. In fact, my very first visit to his ashram was like testing him, as I was told by my father and various people that he is Trigal Sage, the one who can see your past, present and future, So when I visited him there were as usual thousands queued for his darshan, so I sat in a small office and waited till crowd would disperse. As I later went near him, he was alone resting on swing with bed, as this was first time in my life I was seeing a sage. A master before which I saw only on television in Ramayana serial or read Bhagavad-gita where Sri Ram Laxman in forest visits several seers, rishis. 41. Anyway, coming to my point, I stood behind him and him sitting facing open space, trees. I didn't know what to do, but immediately I recollected my father's Trigal thing, and I thought if in real sense a Trigal Darshia he should know what's going on in my 1001st without me having to say anything from lips. So I put my question to him from inside and immediately he looked up and answered me. I was taken aback. Then I asked him to end the question. He still looked up and answered. By the 42 time I could ask 3 road, his Savak came and took the sage inside his Dharpakati hut. It was as if he was saying, enough. As a kid I answered, you now go. Though I thought of not mentioning, but my third question to him was about my marriage, because girls don't have any special questions but few selected ones, and third question was but that, and the fact that he just went inside without answering me was but obvious, as I was about to have my 12 years of spiritual symphony under him, which I understood in 12 years of my penance later on. And if you guys realize what made me to ask him from inside, who told me to test him, as this needs some divine awareness to do in first place. After which I visited his ashram many times, and when I found most of the times he hardly spoke to anyone. And 43. Out of 10 visits, 9 visits he would completely have eyes closed, lying on the jeweler swing, yet there were 1,000 people queuing his place, and each one had some miracle story to reveal about this sage. In fact, some were even surprised to see me converse with him, as he rarely talks to anyone, yet his silence was pouring such miracles. Every day there are millions flocking this sage's 44. Ashram in Kopoli, Navi Mumbai. Today when you watch on TV.s, or you hear someone removing chains from mouth, some ash removed with strings covered in sleeves, some rings thrown from the mouth, tears roll my eyes just thinking this sage's power, if displayed in front of the world or TV, millions, as some self-play I say have, would have already created mass hysteria. But see this sage's humility of saying no to unnecessary publicity. Still thousands throng his ashrams all over India, but just see this sage humility just on one-to-one case. His miracles are heard that also beyond human ordinary understanding. Still he has refrained from exposure. 45. Just 1 year back I spoke to my sister. She told me she visited someone in the corner of her house who claimed to be Shirdi Sai incarnation. I visited him and came Someone else too said they visited a reincarnation of Sai in their corner as well, so I was taken aback at so many incarnations, especially when there was one in Bangalore too claiming to be Shirdi Sai incarnation. I told my sister how there can be 4 Shirdi Sai incarnations at 46. One time? Either one has to be true or all 4 are wrong. And best part, there was one from Bangalore to where renowned people flocked on his departure. But as they say, time heals best of the wounds. But some years back this same person's live video was captured with strings attached under his sleeves where he flung his shoulders ahead or in air and dash came out. And this same self-claimed Sai was alleged with molestation charges of some small boys studing in his hostel, which the mothers of these boys had complained, and news regards this was in news those years. But as media was not so strong and by his time of death most was forgotten. But as they say, world is a bchal, herds of cattle one stands rest follow without going deeper in speculation in regards to matter at hand. 47. So coming back to my sister, best part, she was following Shirdi Sai, so immediately a wise message came from my mouth: when you are following Shirdi Sai, why do you need any other? I gave her a spiritual wisdom: keep your begging bowl in front of one, do not go begging door to door. From one you will get everything, begging from everywhere will still keep you a bhikkhari, beggar, that too when you have a real one, why go for duplicates and triplicates? 48. I never told my sister about my 12 years of penance tapasaya, my spiritual pursuit, as this is law of spirituality, as I was in between my penance and second, as in Gita, Sri Krishna has mentioned. What can a child who drinks milk will know taste of delicious food, or what can a person engrossed in daily life will know about Brahma, Jint that? 49. Is knowledge of the self, so what is the point talking to him or her? In fact, sages strictly tell to their full-grown students never discuss that Vajayana casually, as first, common man will not understand, or too much studied might feel let down of not being able to grasp a subject easily, as this is not everyday knowledge but a knowledge of world, knowledge of God itself, and more ever knowledge of yourself. That's why it is called as self-realization, which is grasped only from vigorous penance, grace and blessings of your master, without which all your meditations and penance is waste. It doesn't blossom from bud to flower stage, without your guru. 50. There is a book regards this called as apostrophe Many Lives. 51. Many Masters apostrophe, where a psychiatric takes his patients to a peaceful state of 1001st, and the 1001st automatically goes to the patient's previous many births, where after every birth and before taking new birth a master comes to guide the soul, as you know, and if not then there are 7 planes above us, as after every death as per our deeds we land on that plane, so every plane God has put his hand a spiritual master. Higher your good deeds, higher will be your plane and higher will be your master. Only people like Shirdi Sai, like my sage, and people who have attained the 3rd stage of samadhi, that is a stage of higher meditation, are the people who have seen God, or are called as co-workers of God, or come on the earth as avatar, as prophet or messengers of God. So a master comes and guides the soul for a next birth, where in this book the psychiatric through the patient asks the master from the spiritual plane about human life, births and reasons of rebirth, and how even a scientist once during an operation accidentally during surgery comes out of his body, where he finds himself passing through the tunnel, and at the end of the tunnel he sees a white light billion size that of the sun, from which a sage, a messenger, 52. comes and tells this scientist to go back, as he accidentally came out of his body and that he has still needs lot to learn. The scientist asked the messenger that what more does he need to learn, as he was a scientist, so the messenger told him that what he learned was not even beginning. Go back and know life through spiritually, as that will make him realize how he mistook of him being complete in terms of wisdom and knowledge. Now coming back to my sister, I told her in short, did you see Shirdi Sai ever removing rings from mouth and chains from mouth? Otherwise then entire Shirdi should have been in gold and rich when Sai was there. 53. This is the way Sri Gagangiri Maharaj lived all his life. This is also to my readers in ahead. I will tell in ahead chapters what is difference between Shirdi Sai, my sage, and to these so self-claimed incarnations. 54. I being very religious, still there was no inclination of me ever entering spiritual field as my current profession. That time offered me everything from money, name, fame. But still I, being practical in my own sense, wanted to know answers for many hard-hitting questions that were working within me regards God itself, me being Brahmin, Hindu, studied in St. Joseph Convent, Mumbai, Bombay. My best friends were one Muslim, another Christian 55. Another Gujarati, etc., etc. So as every Hindu is teased with several gods we are worshipping, so was I. So there were many questions in 1001st regards God itself. A God, which God? And if there is God, then who is Guru? And why is a need for Guru, as some religion already mentions, says pray God directly, why you need mediators? Then what is Dharma, your duties, right side of life? What is your true religion? What is happiness, sukh? What is sadness, dukh? Why one is rich? Why one is poor? Why one Dharma is making people eat non-veg? Why one Dharma refuses non-veg food? 56. What is pure? What is sin? What is good deed? Etc., etc., etc. What is bad deed? Why who do bad doers go scot-free? Why good doers get defamed or falsely accused? So with such questions and with their obvious solutions in the following pages, probably you readers too might be relieved from your doubts and confusions. With all these questions and doubts I stood in front of my Guru, and the answers I got from them were not in one single day, but these answers came to me during my high meditation state and during New York 12 years of vigorous fasting and austerities, so it was not easy. 57. Like my Guru would say that he has done tapas for 100 of years, and what he got from those 100 years of vigorous hard penance tapas that me will get without much hard work. Am really where my master's 50 million years of penance and where my 12 years of penance. Though what my master really meant here was from yoga's spiritual knowledge point of view regards apostrophe dana to somebody what he attended in terms of the wisdom from his 50 millions of years of penance / tapasaya that he gathered from his one mental pursuit, I will get it instantly. 58. This is only for people who are into spiritual pursuit. This sage made me realize all the stages of somebody in my impure stage first, and then also in my very pure state too, and then made me go beyond it too. This word samadhi, though it seems one simple word, it goes down to samadhi, but very very hard to realize. Intensely yoga from Mr. B.K.SIING. He has mentioned people, even if they did meditation for several years, that stage which is self-realization is very difficult to rules. There are many 59 yogis, sadhu, beginners who have got up from their spiritual endeavor thinking they have attended that samadhi state and left their practice in middle. That samadhi state means there are various samadhis before that great nirvana state is realized. This why? Because only grace of your Guru can make it happen, and how well you have served him gets that ultimate self-realization state. Like apostrophe Gautam Buddha after he attended self-realization, the first statement he made from so many years of austerity / penance, tapas, only when your 1001st is ready for Guru's blessing does emancipation, self-realization occurs. 60. There was a book I read of Swami Rama apostrophe Himalayan masters where he says Guru is like a plank of wood to swim across the river, but when you come to the other side leave it back. 61. Reading this first made me angry, second thought made me realize he has not been graced enough by his Guru, as this statement made me realize he had not attained the highest state. That's why an overconfident statement popped up from him. As truly self-realized yogis like Buddha or my Guru would say, will say one thing: the river is Guru, the plank is Guru, and what you see last, that's Almighty God. In Hindu we call him Sadashiva, is also your Guru. There is a mantra which cements the actuality apostrophe Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasma Guru Vinamaha gets you there, and if you had to leave your Guru after getting close to Sadashiva, there is nothing but a roller coaster ride down from where you began. As such opportunist students who hold someone on getting other is never graced with that jewel called as self-realization. As there is mantra that goes with this. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu. 62. Guru Devo Maheshwara. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Tasmai Shri Guru Nama. There's a saying for this apostrophe: if you wronged Shiva, Guru will rescue you, but if you wronged your Guru, there is no institution that can save you. 63. Only when your Guru and several deities test you does that divine state is graced which is called as self-realization. The test is of your purity, of you being a very pure soul. And holds no violence or hatred or jealousy for anybody, and has no intention of coveting or wanting any properties or loading too much of wealth of others or succumbing to several greeds. 64. Gautam Buddha did meditations for many years, strolled in jungles many years, did vigorous penance, tapas/austerity, still only when his Guru graced him did that ultimate self-realization strike him. As Gautam Buddha says, when your 1001st is ready for Guru's blessings, emancipation is at hand. 65. 66. This book is not on how to attain spiritual heights, as it's a different game altogether. I will put it down in my second book, but this book is more on today's problems which are keeping you from being civilized human beings, which needs to be catered first, as pure souls are the only one that are chosen for a path to enlightenment. As he has ended his bad deeds of many lifetimes and good deeds have ripened for him to be eligible to proceed to God. Some time ago I was seeing a guy give pravachan to some crowd on TV. And he was claiming to be a siddha to the crowd, and next moment he was telling a lady Sadivi sitting next to him, I heard there are 10 chakras, I don't know who resides on top, and then he looked at the crowd and said, I don't know what is and who is God. Now imagine, and best part, he called himself a siddha. Siddha cannot be a half-cooked. 67. If you are a siddha, you should definitely know the Siddheshwar from whom you became a siddha. Because only from apple seed will you get an apple, not from mango seed. And best part, he said he doesn't know who the God was. So what type of sadhana/austerity you did, as it has not even revealed you the Almighty Head's face? At least don't call yourself siddha before you don't realize this. And if this is your state, then what would be your disciple's state? Regards God, and who is he? He was also saying to one lady who seemed very painful with tears, one thing which amused me further. He said, don't cry, as your vibrations will go up to God and he will send more tears down. Now tell me, is he talking about the most powerful, omniscient, omnipotent entity of the world, who without you open your mouth knows what's in your heart and in your 1001st, or to the most foolish one who you need to cheat, that in spite you feel sorrowful you pretend to smile outside, and that artificial outside smile will go up and you will get more joy in return? That means you are 68. Told to act and be fake to that omniscient personality called God. But our innocent crowd will not go deep to analyze and may have already applied it in their lives. Here I will tell you this Pravachan person is again wrong. In fact, here I will tell you what people like my sage, Shirdi Sai Babas do. Since these sages have done penance for hundreds of years, which have got them reservoir of accumulated punyas, good deeds, or storage of positive energy and immense power which these sages use for human kalyan. This means when people like us who on opposite scale in terms with our energy have made too much accumulation of sins since many births, so when you go to meet these sages in their ashrams, they immediately sense your vibrations, and by your vibrations they feel you are very unhappy, and if you have served these sages or been nice to them, they immediately exchange your sorrows with their good accumulated power, and they burn your sins and deeds in their penance for you, and when you come from visiting them you will feel light, happy, and probably may get some good. 69. News, luck, or some work may transpire which is indication that these sages have graced you. Or if you don't have a physical sage or a tapasavi, which is very hard nowadays, but just seeing their photos and praying with strong emotions will work in the same effect like egg, my Guru or Shirdi Sai or Swami Samarth types. These are true masters. Some people do also mention what's in your destiny will happen, yes, but here if you serve sages like these for several years they can and have powers to transform your destiny as per their will. That Icha Shakti is there. This Icha Shakti is so strong that they can curse you and nothing can stop it from not happening, and if they bless you nothing can stop from you becoming. That's what Shirdi Sai or my sage are components from. 70. And one more thing, the so-claimed Siddhas Lady Sadhvi who was sitting next to him told to one household lady standing in front of her, if some person is good to someone and bad to you, that means you are bad, as he would not be good to others. For others it was rope, but for you how it became snake, that means something is wrong with you. Here I tell my readers this Sadhvi is wrong. Ravan was good to many but not too good to Raman. 71. Sita. So it's clear what is good for others may not be good to you. Best part, Sita in fact took Ravan as sadhu means her first glance, her first look at Ravan was that of a sadhu means snake as rope, but ultimately it got revealed as snake only. So what is rope to others may not be rope to you. These all incidences I am revealing to realize what is a sage, a siddha and truly enlightened being. To make my readers smatter and study who they encounter in form of guru. And it also depends on what you want from whom. Don't go to an astrologer and ask for enlightenment, and don't go to an enlightened sage for astrology, as these are two different things altogether. Just like you don't go for dental work to heart specialist, or don't go to ordinary pharmacist down in your building area and ask for best heart surgeon in town. 72. Exactly, in spiritual field you don't get seers, sages and enlightened masters down at corner of your house, as you make an effort to get best surgeon in town from his name, to appointment, to his rates, to his success rate at his surgeries. 100 times more is an effort for getting that sage who will give you a Kohin or diamond that is called as self-realization. 73. Another similar incident occurred. Some relative of ours was seeing a tantric, a yogi with the knowledge of occult science, and was telling her of mine and his association of 500 years. So I, who was on phone, I asked my friend to ask him how I looked. He told her I was round, black and fat, and best part, I am just opposite to all these descriptions. So imagine that person could not tell me of my present tense, and he was talking of our 500 years back. These type of bullshit I hear from every person who went to Extrantic, and he talks of last birth, but these can't even see your today. Because to be Trigaldashya, the one who can see all your births, like are these seers, rishis, or these masters, as this needs very severe penances of full lakhs of years. Now my readers must be wondering, how come in one birth can you do lakh of years of penance, as one single birth maximum is 100 years. 74. Well, here I will explain, as it's written in Gita, or if you read this book apostrophe many lives many masters, whatever a soul while pursuing a goal leaves his this present body and has willed, hoped to had continued if he had some years to live in present body, but dies due to bod's death, pursues the same goal from his new birth and new body where it ended in previous birth. So in the same way these yogis leave their body in awareness to continue, and after million of births 75 of continuous practices he becomes a self-realized one, a master, a seer. Always remember this, that it is the soul that parts the body during the death, as the death is of the body and not you. 76. People have very wrong thing about being a trantic, or they will say, oh, he is a trantic, but innocent day-to-day people don't know. First, to be a genuine tantric is not joke, since out of millions, 77, only 1 or 2 is a trantic, as this trantic sadhana is very very hard, severe. No ordinary spiritual or a causal person can do it. Last attain a stage of a master. These trantics are also called agaras. Just like Shirdi Sai or my sage, these are masters and called or addressed as Nath. Out of million only 1 or 2 becomes tantric in actual sense. Rest these so-called dongas, frauds, are only imitating real ones in, and that too in ugly way, and giving bad name to this phenomenon knowledge called as tantra. 78. Some days back some Pravachan guy was calling another one as rishi and then addressing the crowd. It amused me. As crowd itself is innocent, sick on the person addressing him seemed since then thought he is already one rishi, it put me to laugh, though taking breath from one nostril and leaving it from other, or for that matter even breath is addressed as rishi. 79. But this rishi is different. Now let me brief you in short as what is a rishi, a nath, a muni, or a siddha. Just like we go nursery, school, then college, then further degree, etc. same in spiritual aspect. First after many years of penances, tapas, austerities does one becomes a siddha, as many as 100 years of penances does one siddha become a nath, after 1,000 years of penances this nath becomes a maya, and after lakhs of years of penances / tapas does one may become a rishi. So my sage is a rishi. In fact you need many births, good deeds, punya collected in your destiny to even have an encounter with a rishi, seer, sage like mine, and not necessary after you meet him whether you can even guess that you encountered one, as you yourself need that awareness, otherwise you will think you are meeting your regular Raziwala Babas, or fortune. 80. Tellers. 81. 82. These were the arduous penance the seer did. For people who are interested in meditation and spiritual aspect, following are the type of penances Sri Gagangiri Nath carried. He was garlanded guru of all gurus by all the Shankaracharyas, Mahants. In fact 12 years Kumbh Melas would only be felicitated through his presence. His penances were, Rivathi Tapa, is carried on the sands of river bank. Where river meets sea. Rivakanda, this is carried on banks of river surrounded by mountain ranges for a large country. Jambu Deep, Jambu means an island, deep means apostrophe lamp is carried on island near lamp. 83. Bharatkand, carried all over India, the Bharatvarsha, that's why this sage has hermits all over Bharat, as wherever he went people came in flocks as his miracles would spread far and near. Aranyak, this penance is carried in forests. This sage fasted only on water for several years, he went in forests where no man had ever stepped his foot before him. Vishal, very hard painstaking penance, only closing eyes and total silence for several years. Mahayoga, another hard yoga penance. Navnath Yogendra, this penance is carried out at Shiva Gorakshuga cult. From this cult came this sage, Shirdi Sai. These naths are actually masters. Nagababa, this is carried for Lord Shiva. This master also mastered lots of kilpas, rejuvenation kriyas, 84. 85. Now my readers / questions which were just not only mine but asked from me by many others during my life, for which I didn't have any answer then, but now to my Guru's blessings and with my 12 years of penance not just got answers to them, but by his grace can put forward to others as may million others to benefit just as I have from this knowledge poured on me by my master. A long-lived American lady on before her death was asked the secrecy to her such long life, her answer was knowledge. First let me prostrate at my Guru's feet. 86. 1 St question. What is God? Who is God? What is he made of? And if he is this, and who are rest? 87. Answer. This entire world is made from same energy. The Almighty Father, who we address also as Bhagwan, as Allah, as God, is composed as two understood energies. Shiva plus Shakti. Yin plus Yang. Kai plus Li. Static plus kinetic. Male plus female. 88. 89. 90. Hindus call them Sadashiva Ardhaneshwara. Sadashiva is the father of universe. His creation, which is called Parvati, who is also addressed as Li, Yang, kinetic, female, Shakti is his university from where the entire creation was / is created. 91. Sadhshiva, Almighty Father. He is the Father of all known, unknown world. He is the creator of all cosmos, Brahman / world universe, seen unseen, heard, unheard world. Sadashiva equals Shiva plus Shakti, Mater plus energy are creator of Saptrishis, 7 seers, Navnaths, that's 9 Narayana, these are the actual Siddhas masters. Machindranath, Gorknath, Koranginath, 92. Jalandhanath, etc., they are 9 altogether. Sadashiva created them from an Kalyan, human evolution, from Sadashiva came 10 Mahavidyas, 10 knowledges, 9 Durgas. From Sadashiva's right came Narayana. From his left that's Parvati, from her came Brahma and all creation. 93. And on Brahma's request came again as Mahadv plus Parvati. Sadashiva being creator, sustainer, and destroyer. In form of Mahakal and Mahakali. 94. They keep the destruction part to themselves. Since Narayana is born from Shiva's right side, there is no difference between both of them. In fact, you need no other mantra if you know Om Namah Shiva. Make a full form of Shiva, let's see what you get. S equals Shiv, Shakti, High equals is, Va equals Vasudeva. Shiva is Vasudeva. Shiv Shakti High, Vasudeva High. There's another mantra that goes like 95. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Here Hare means hail to Shiva. Ha, Mahadv. Ha is a bij mantra for Shiva. Hare equals Shiva Krishna, Krishna Shiva Shiva Rama, Shiva Rama Shiva. This means world starts from Shiva and ends at Shiva. 96. This is Belpatra, a leaf with 3 faces, represents Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva offered on formless Sadashiva. Westerns make fun of Linga, but if you go deep, this is cause of creation, as man equals Shiva equals Meta plus woman equals Parvati equals energy is cause of creation, and what is life in short if not this? Man plus woman equals creation, and that equals to life. 97. We have many planes, lokas like Earth, Moon, Jupiter, Sun, Saturn, Brahmaloka, Vishnululoka. In this also the last is Sadashiva Loka. A saying for this goes, what is not possible for rest of world deities is possible for Shiva, and what is not possible is for God/Shiva is not possible for no one. Second question, What is avatar like Shirdi Sai, or these Naths or so called? What is and who is Guru? 98. Or who should be your Guru? These saints like Gagangiri, Nath, Nath, have attained masters of master degree of the immortal worlds from our father Shiva, and have passed the highest and highest of education merits from University Mother Parvati, the mother of all known unknown knowledge. 99. 100. There are 2 types of knowledge. The para, higher knowledge, spiritual. The apara, the lower knowledge, our everyday world. From Parvati comes her 3 more energies. Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, and again she keeps destruction part to herself as Mahakali Swarup. So if you worship Parvati you get her 3 Shaktis. Even in her Saptshati the 18 hands Maheshwari they address to is Parvati only, as from her came the 3 other Shaktis Lakshmi, Saraswati, Kali. 101. 102. During my birth, when my mother was in labor room and my grandmother was sitting outside, happened to fall asleep. Mother Parvati, who my grandmother addressed as Yamai, means mother who is also the cause of prolay destruction, gave her a vision and told her she is coming in form of her granddaughter and to give her that's me her name. Parvati is also called as Mahishasamadhini. She is also addressed as Jagadamba. As Mahalakshmi is addressed as Amba. Many times devotees get confused. Once one girl out of agitation asked me which god from so many. I told her in brief, if not for your mother would you know who is your father? In fact it's your mother who tells her child, look, this is your papa, and on deeper level it is only 103. Your mother who knows the child's real father. In fact, the entire spiritual culmination is of Kundalini Shakti rising from your spine and her union with Sadashiva in the crown chakra, and on its union the superhuman becomes a siddha, a master, and never needs to come back to earth, and if he comes is as God's co-worker, a God's helper. 104. Sri Ram, who worships Parvati for 9 days, on 9th day Mother gifts him the bow arrow to kill demon Ravan. Today in India for fact we worship goddess Shakti and welcome her twice in year in our homes in form of two Navaratis, the Chaitra Navaratri and yearly, that's the Shardhi Navaratri, and do Lakshmi pujas and go to temples. And ask her to come to our house so our poverty, our miseries will end on her coming to our house. But when the same Shakti/mother wants to come to your house in form of your daughter, or bride to your son, you are killing her in your womb, so how does she come to you in form of Lakshmi, wealth form, Saraswati knowledge form, and Kali, who represents all the three forms? When she is married, people do bussiness from her marriage in form of dowry, or you hear people abusing daughters in house. What is all this? 105. Where are the people who feared God? The entire creation is from her, so imagine what will she do to you or to your family/Fanchon, abusing her very essence. She will create hell to you and to your family. Remember, people who are doing these heinous crimes, the mother just walks out of that house with all her three Shaktis/energies, and from these people's lives and their destinies forever. Better than we Indians are Westerners who don't do so much of goddess worship. Though they also worship Mother Mary, still there is no dowry or daughter abuse because she is female. Probably with all Shakti pujas our country India still belongs from third world, and America, London belong to first world. Probably the underlying reason could just be this. 106. And remember, there is apostrophe law of karma, what goes around that comes around. Most families are not aware they are killing. 107. Daughters in womb for need of male child. In fact, Mother Nature plays dirty with them. She replaces male with the same daughter they have killed with, and that same son on becoming adult tells parents to go out of the house to home for aged institution. And that's why today we have many parents thrown out of their homes, not by their daughters but by their sons, and many home for aged institutions are all over India, growing in leaps and bounds. This is law of karma, which doesn't fail or hasn't failed ever. Probably this what is lesson to us from law of nature, as we are abusing nature on continuous process. That's why our ex-prime minister Mr. Rajiv Gandhi insisted on female education as a must, as female will become a mother eventually. As child from her birth to their education, it's mother who they stay with and get all their education from her. If your mother is illiterate, she will keep her child illiterate. She's the one. 108. Who can educate entire family from son, daughter and even her husband, who mostly listens to his wife. That female means Shakti, means nature, and if nature is killed from where Shiva sustains us, without Shakti there is no Shiva, and without Shakti our whole world will slowly but surely is already coming to end. The fact entire world is facing extreme conditions and some countries extensive losses and poverty is the sign/language that Mother Nature Parvati is very angry, but we ignorants are so lost that we are failing to understand and see this language from her. The fact today most important post/heads of most countries or institutions are/is held mostly by females is again her Mother Nature's way of telling us to make people understand there is no difference between man and woman. In fact, there is another ignorance rotating many years, and the whole grunt females suffer silently. As she being ignorant is, she is not so. 109. Knowledgeable or much aware, that ever female whoever she could be can never give male child to the family. She is, always is born only with female eggs, cells, that is Y and Y chromosomes. Her eggs are Y chromosomes, here Y is female cell. And all males and their semen are constitution of one male cell and one female cell, that is X and Y chromosome. Here X is male. Once a male semen enters a female, it is this X that will unite with her one of hers Y inside, and when this happens a male child is born which is totally not in female's hand. So instead of always telling a female please give us male child, this desire from today onwards should be asked from male please get us male child. As his X is to be matched to Y of the female. In fact it's always in hand of God. Neither male nor female can guess what is going to match inside. 110. On higher intellectual side, this male over female and rich over poor, higher over lower caste, black over white, is nothing but disease of 1001. This is also sign of no right up, bringing from mothers who are less or no educated. Today Russia and countries like America consider India to be the most unsafe place. Dangerous country for woman's for female child to be born, and this really is shame to every Indian, and more ever to Hindus and Hindu religion. As with Navaratris, Lakshmi Pujas for Diwali we welcome Divine Mother, and yet this country abuses same Shakti when she is born as a daughter to you, as bride when she comes to your house by making bussiness out of her in form of dowry, as if you are taking a big loan in your house by taking her in form of bride. Just see how much of sign of greed is this, as in London, America there is no dowry, so no need to feel female is liability. No issue or preference of male over female, because everyone in America, whether male not male, female not female, poor or rich, all have to work. 111. In fact the base of this whole Shakti abuse is dowry. Dowry has taken form of Danav demon/Rakshaha. Where are the people who feared God? Better than we Hindus are Americans, Christians or even Muslims. They don't do so much worship of Divine Mother, but yet there is no killing of female in womb or least dowry when they wed their daughters. Probably that's why America and all Christian countries come from first world and are considered as powerful nations, whereas India is not. I pray to these Indians and mostly Hindus, stop praying worshipping Divine Mother till you stop abusing her in your womb, in your house, as you lose right to worship her as in your house, as the one you are abusing is just her, then how she will come in your house least make any effect in your destiny. Still then all these Navaratris, Lakshmi Pujas is just a big show off without giving you any fruits/results in return. 112. Many times people or they say that their religious text mentions God is different to his creation. 113. Or he has nothing to do with his creation. If that is true, then we should stop praying to him, as we all belong to his creation. And if he has nothing to do with us, then why you want to pray to him? Or why you think then that he will answer your prayers, as he has nothing to do with you, as you are also part of his creation? Then why look at sun or moon and break your fast, as sun, moon are also part of his creation? There are two types of world, just like two types of knowledge. 114. One is mortal world. Mortal is what you see with your own naked eyes. So just like our mortal world, we go to school, college, university, which is judged by our school teachers, and college by their respective heads. This world immortal, that's the spiritual unseen world where Sri Gagangiri Nath and Sri Shirdi Sai Nath like sages attend. First is very hard, their tests and exams are taken by various deities and gods, and these saints like Sai who have passed all these tests exams become Narayana themselves. And once they attain Narayana completeness, the Lord of our universe Shiva with the mother of our universe Parvati come together with joy, seeing their son passing all these universities, and once when they come together in their wholesome joy, Krishna their spiritual child is born. This spiritual child then is born as an avatara, a prophet, a messenger, takes place in form of Narayana or of Parshurama, Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Sri Sai Baba or Jesus Christ. 115. On union they merge like milk into water. Here water is Shiva who has no form, and milk is Shakti. Now after severe austerities, penances, these Naths become masters. They have power over 5 elements, that is Panch Mahabhutas: water, fire, earth, ether, and air, They go and come anywhere in seconds. They possess any body form from fly to dog to cat, and they will come and accept your offerings. 116. That's what this Christ-like sage would possess any body at will, only I knew. My entire sadhana, penance, was things beyond ordinary. 117. Understanding. And today I will tell my readers of this book, if someone asked me 12 years back, have you seen God? I would not know what to answer, but after my 12 years there is no time, no place where I don't see him in form as well as in no form. These types of sages are the only certified gurus whom you can call as so-called as your guru. Chaitanya Shri Gagangiri Nityinama. There will be many who will give you rings, chains. 118. Daggers, make you sit in east or face south, but none to give you peace, moksha. And yes, solutions to your day-to-day problems. These sounds like Sai, Buddha, Krishna, Rama, Gagangiri, Nath. Remember their qualities. Were they not godly? Weren't their actions not blameless? When you say he is Avtara, he should be complete replica, resemble exactly God's qualities, virtues, like Lord Shiva, Lord Rama. Remember Gautam Buddha. Think of Shiva and look at your guru if he resembles in his speech, actions, behavior, and foremost he will be above ordinary. He will have magnetic qualities, probably no speech, very peaceful personality like my sage. The whole place was so quiet and yet so much of good vibrations that only his vibrations were solving people's problems. And remember, no Avatara will ever say he has no guru. For Sai, his first guru was his mother. 119. My sage saw guru in each and every bee, to flower, to anyone who he could learn 1 or 2 lessons from, he took it to be his teacher. Lord Dattatreya had 24 gurus. And remember, these avatars show their miracles only when required as per need, that are on one-to-one basis, just like my sage/Gagangiri Nath would. So please remember to differentiate between the real and not the real gurus. And not even those who will make you by Krishna idol one day, and Rama idol next day, as these sages have realized one in all and all in one. 120. There is nothing that's not Shiva, there is no place that's not Shiva, there is no time that's not Shiva, all jivas are nothing but Shiva. Third question. Why you need a guru? Why you need anyone between God and yourself, and why worship your guru? As in some Dharma they say we are told to worship God directly, and then why worship? Just pay your respect. 121. Answer. I will tell you why you need a guru and what guru does. Time moment. Let's keep God aside. Let's take India and let's take Sonia Gandhi, or let's take Barack Obama, President of USA. First, is it possible for you guys to meet them directly? Your answer is no, even if someone was their childhood friends. Imagine with all their secretaries, security, you can't even think of meeting anyone in White House. Leave meeting president directly. These are presidents of mortal world, our seen worlds. So imagine how difficult it is to meet that mightiest of mighty, who our sages, seers, must spend years to have a glimpse. So imagine how difficult it is for you guys to see him. But now what if you knew Rahul Gandhi directly? 122. Or if you knew Joe Biden directly, how easy meeting both would be. But these children are from mortal worlds. Exactly in same way these children from immortal are our prophets, like my sage, Shirdi Sai, Buddha. These are God's very near and dear ones. He takes them to be his sons, so dear, that, like in Quran, in the Old Testament, Genesis 12:1-3, it can be found that God Almighty promised to create great nations from Ishmael, Abraham's first son and forefather of the Muslims. The Lord said to Abram, "Leave your country, your people and your father's household and go to the land I will show you. I will bless, I will make your name great and you will be blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I will curse, and all people will be blessed through you." 123. Exactly in the same way. Even Jesus, Sai, Sri Krishna, said, "Come to me, I will free you from bondage of life." death and rebirth. As they are completely merged with the Almighty God, God has licensed these prophets to free the ones who surrender to them. 124. Shri Gagangiri Nath. In mortal world, if we had to visit Barack Obama, would you not in days plan what to wear, what to speak, how to sit, etc., etc. But in immortal world, that's the God's world, and God has nothing to do with your exterior but everything to do with your interior. 125. So these prophets clean you up first, give you godly behavior, make you clean from inside by cleaning your bad deeds, karmas, and just like a raw diamond is cut, polished, and molded in a ring before brought in front of the buyer, or like a flower from wherever you get it has to be purified before offering Lord, just as there is difference between ordinary water and water that is purified in church or Ganges water, in same way our Guru purifies us thoroughly before they make you stand in front of God. As before this we are very impure. That's why only purified beings have seen God in his form as well as in his formless state. 126. 127. But why you need to worship them? Just pay your respect. One Muslim friend of mine had asked me to. My answer to him was, I told him what for one man it is food could be poison for others means what seems worship to others is just nothing but paying our respects to our Guru. Let me specify this in details. When we children attended schools, where were we sitting on bench, and where was our teacher sitting? On chair much above us. But still this teacher comes from our mortal world. But what about that prophet teacher who comes from God to clean us our sins and free us from diseases and cycle of birth and death? So where and how much higher the seat should be from us? When you visit your teachers in school, or your dear ones in hospital, or you meet someone you love, your mother, lover, husband, don't you not go with 128 flowers? Don't you not give a rose to your lover on Valentine's Day's Bass? This what we go with when visit our Guru or God in temple. And 3 road thing I told him, when you get visitors in your house, don't you Muslim brothers offered for others this type of wood on litting, it spreads fragrance all over houses, especially put every day in Muslim shops in houses. So same imagined, essence, perfume for ordinary people like us than what not should be offered when you visit these godly aspected prophets, sages in their ashrams. We make best of food for our guest to come. We taste that food 100 times to see nothing should be wrong in taste in terms of salt and pepper. Same if we have to visit prophet, sages, Guru or the highest, the Almighty God. Why should you go empty-handed? Or how more we need to be good in our service towards them above ordinary times. 129. In Christianity also, there are total 9 novenas which most Christians attend. I did 27 novenas, during which people queued to burn flowers on Mother Mary's statue and on the cross of Jesus. Put bunches of candles in front of her. Plus you stand in queue where Father gives you water that's purified. 130. Though God and Gurus doesn't need it, but he only goes for the emotions behind those offerings. Otherwise there are millions in the world, but only few are graced by them. These prophets only graced whoever were good, sincere and devoted towards them, and that's what our God, our Allah, had granted them boon to elevate whoever they thought they devoted to them, loved them and had highest respect towards them and their teachings. 131. 132. Shri Gagangiri Nath. Why 365 gods? Especially Hinduism. Who said God is 365? Again, people have got it wrong. As explained above, God in all religion is one, so is in Hinduism. And that's Sadashiva, yin-yang/ch li, male-female. But these 365 are none but his 365 strong hands. Just like you have Barack Obama as president, but how many hands Democrats are in his government? In India Manmohan Singh is one, but how many cabinet ministers he has? And how many ministers in state, and these chief ministers of individual state, how many ministers are working under every chief minister? 50. So how many state chief ministers we have in India, plus their 50 nose under each? Total if you count will go in 1000 no's. 133. So how come the president of our world, our Lord, will not have these many no's of hands working for him? And remember, can anyone mistreat Joe Biden and make Barack Obama to agree with something? In fact, if you insult Joe Biden, Barack Obama may not even entertain you. Same goes with our God. If you insult any sage or prophet, even God says, "Get lost, I don't know who you are, as you have insulted my son, my very next." That's why in Christianity it is blessed be the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit. It means Father, that's God. Son, that's his next, Jesus. In Hindus, Vishnu is identical Shiva. Holy Spirit, that's his energy, from where his entire creation took place. 134. In fact, our space above are exactly in this God nation. In Discovery Channel they were saying, if you think Sun is bigger, then think again, as 100 times size of Sun is the huge white planet galaxy type of syndrome just behind it, and behind this white phenomenon is another castroscopic size of black color planet, which these scientists have named as Black Pearl. It seems this black planet swallows huge size of planets, galaxy, anything that comes close to it. These scientists have given them these names, but we Hindus already call Sun as Vishnu, this white giant. 135. Lightened phenomenon as energy/Shakti, Parvati, and that black giant planet as Sadashiva/Mahak. Another thing which these scientists are sending several spaceships to detect. Another thing which they have just discovered, that the white sky which we people see from Earth is just a teaser. Actual from behind it completely black phenomenon is controlling it, out of which quarter is dark matter and is dark energy. But I would like to request them please read our Vedas, as it already revealed in them. We Hindus already know that Sadashiva/Mahadv is that quarter dark matter, and the is his dark energy Mahakali, from where the entire creation and destruction takes place. 136. 137. In fact, God has created our world replica to his. Shiva and his Shakti is like water and milk. Water is Shiva, formless, his energy is white like milk. Without white there is no color, and without energy there is no life. That's why when Jiva, the life energy, goes from body matter, we call it dead. As we are that energy and not our body. Even in Christianity there goes this pray. Hail Mary, full of grace, Lord's with you, blessed are you amongst the women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us now and the time of our death. Amen. 138. 139. Language of God. In fact, God speaks to us every moment, but we humans, because we are so much engrossed in our own or others' problems, that we don't have time to listen to each other. So how will we pay attention to God and his language? But animals are better than us, as they easily grasp this. When someone is about to die, you will hear in India dogs start howling, and immediately in morning we get news of someone pass. Like some days there was a news in paper where in a hospital there was a cat and Heather's bed. She went and stood immediately. By morning that particular person would be no more. If some guest is about to come, a crow comes and sits on windows and starts croaking. Immediately you have a surprise visitor on door who tells, I tried your phone, no one answered, I thought to come and see you. So exactly same way God speaks whenever our bad. 140. Deeds are strong or very horrible. Injustice has happened to some countries' people, or some sins, some crimes become too much unbearable. God shakes his creation, his energy, that's Parvati, his Shakti, which results in earthquake, storm, hurricane. This is countries' sins. But on individual level, suddenly loss in busyness, suddenly cheated for huge money, loss in career, loss of name and honor. Following below are my sage's detailed analyzations towards these problems and actual duties of human beings on earth, and happiness and reasons for your sadness and miseries. 141. May his teachings enlighten you instantly and transform your today. Dharma, your duties, your religion, what are they? We human beings on birth are born with 4 responsibilities, debts we owe to be fulfilled. The first duty is towards God, the second is that 142 of your parents, Third is towards your guru/teacher. And fourth is your society and country where you are born in. Religion. What's your true religion? True religion is one in which you are born in. You were born in Hindu religion because God wanted you to be. You are born as Christian because God wanted you to be. You are born as Muslim because God wanted you to be. But today everybody has become God. Each one is busy changing someone into something in which he was not born into. Remember, by changing from one religion to another is like changing one genes to another genes, as God just like you remains same. It is like God got changed to Bhagwan and Bhagwan got changed to Allah, that's it, but God remains same as he is one with different names. We were animals before we became humans, but even when as human we have our animal behavior intact/same. This is in percentage from person to person. Some are 80% humans, 20% animalism intact in them. 143. Some 50% humans, 50% animalism intact, in some 80% animalism intact and only 20% humanity intact, left in them. God has made us humans to only transform this ratio of animalism to complete human, then superhumans, and ultimately godlike in our behavior, habits, just like our prophets, sages haven't come on this earth as his son like Jesus, Buddha, etc., etc. 144. Happiness attracts wealth, with intention to do good for others sustains your wealth for lifetime. In opposite, selfish person with evil thoughts and not a single good intention to do good for others, wealth remains far from him. Charity begins from home. Keep your near and dear ones and far of relatives' wishes, desires unfulfilled, and going out and helping poor. This charity holds no value in eyes of God. Ego if your 1001st is filled with ego, not even a single drop of water you want to part with anyone, but filled with humbleness, even a single bread you will make into 2 to 3 pieces and distribute. As wealth stays with such person and leaves the first person with ego. Hatred sympathy, forgiveness and peace are the most important principles on which life is based. Hatred causes anger. Hatred is the most damaging tendency. Because of hatred, forgiveness forsakes the 1001st. This leads to disturbance in minds of many others, with hatred, jealousy and unhappiness. 145. Follows in, and this leads to disunity amongst family members, amongst friends or co-workers. In state of disunity, every family members goes its own ways. Good bossiness collapses because of disunity, and eventually wealth departs from that home, that place, that bossiness. In absence of wealth in Hindu, she is addressed as goddess Lakshmi, deity of wealth, leaves the place, home, Vastu, and in her absence evil, immoral dance starts in the lives of the people, like loss of fame, name, home, bankruptcy, etc., etc. In unity there is power. All countries were divided first and then ruled, but once they united they got their rule, their independence, their freedom. 146. Chaitanya Gagangiri Nathaya Nama. Strength, history was never made with cowards. Beating your wife, children and showing no strength outside your house in your work or day-to-day work is sign of cowardness. Drinking, abusing and no use to country, family, society, there is no cowardness as this. Courage is all about inner strength, like Mahatma Gandhi. A fragile frame man with inner strength without any weapons could give British troops to. 147. Surrender and give freedom to India without any violence. As history is made by courageous people and never by cowards. Food? Which food is right? If veg, then why some religion makes them to eat non-veg? Answer: eat food what is fresh and made that moment to sustain its energy, as what you eat is not food but energy. And energy is of 3 types: 1 is positive, 2nd negative, and 3rd neither positive nor negative. Fresh food prepared and eaten within 1 to 2 hours has positive energy, eaten in 7 to 8 hours neither good nor bad, but eaten next day is negative. Kept in freezer after cooking still holds 2/4 of energy. but kept overnight outside without freezer is completely negative and not fit for human consumption. Veg or non-veg. 148. Eat what suits you, choose what you can digest. If you get angry, irritated, or when anger arouses you become wild and have tendency to become physical, then non-veg is not your food. But you are very calm even after eating animal food. You are still human in your behavior with your families, husband, wives and children. Then consumption of non-veg in moderation is not bad. But please refrain from alcohol, as all religion and their symbolic literatures like Gita, Quran, Bible have strictly mentioned their non-use, as this doesn't let human remain human and brings him lower than even animals in their behavior. I will tell you why alcohol is bad. First, it is made from rotting fresh fruits, wheat, grass or anything from which the alcohol is made from. Rotten is worse than food kept overnight, as rotten food means food that stings. Keep anything out and you will see fungus on it. Now imagine, food which will become alcoholic is kept 149 out 4 months with yeast added to them. Drinks like champagne and wine are kept for years, so imagine the amount of fungus on it and what can happen with so much of rotten substance entering your system will keep your behavior, as there is saying 1001st is food and food is 1001st. One did not make you lower than animals, and what are animals? In hunger they don't know who are they eating. So in drinks the person doesn't know who they are standing in front of when they are talking. They lose difference between mother, daughter, wives, children and person. In drinks in anger can become violent to the point of even committing a murder. Because in drinks he loses control of 1001st. Losing control of 1001st is loss control on everything. As it's very well understood, person who drinks alcohol in the very first 15 minutes he stops sense of reasoning. Some years back you would hear of 1 or 2 murders in a year or 1, 2 rapes in a year. But today there are 4 to 5 murders in every city and 3 to 4 rapes. 150. Everyday heard, and best part most of them being in state of alcohol or to earn lot of money in quick time so they can maintain their huge alcohol supply, and plus their recurring parties which get thrown only by their body asking to pour the habituated drink, as body has got used to this habit too. So please refrain from alcohol and its equally similar components like vinegar, pickles etc., which are made in similar process of preparation. But if you are looking to transpire yourself spiritually, then remain on food fit for humans, keeping animals out of it, as that will make you into complete human and superhuman thereafter. Remember, food is thoughts and thoughts is food, as energy of food gets transformed into thoughts, and from that good or bad food energy you get bad or good thoughts. And remember, bad and good thoughts are based a good deed or bad deed that has bad action and good action. In fact, you may not reflect what you dream is 151. The product of what you eat night before. In fact, next time when you get bad dream, recollect what you had night before, as your conscience will immediately tell you what not to choose next time. Meditation and happiness. Right meditation is the highest form of achievement in eyes of God. Happiness is the highest form of salvation. So meditate happily. Whatever you do, worship. Whatever you work you do, whatever task you undertake, ask yourself, are you happy? If not, stop doing that work, stop going to that place or to that person that doesn't make you happy. By too much fasting, by doing too much of viratas or sankalps, or by doing too much of work, or 152? By accepting too many contracts you can't concentrate on your meditation or on your work or to your family or to your wife/husband, then stop it immediately, as it won't reach you anywhere. And do what you can manage easily and doesn't take your happiness from you. As when your death comes to you, you are in happy state of living, your body as sad state becomes difficult to leave. As we are not body but the soul. And body in state of alcohol goes straight, you know where, I don't need to mention. Be for myself, realization. I saw world from my point of view. I too, like others, blamed my mistakes on everyone, even on God. God did this, God did that. If there was God then why one is poor and why one is rich, why he created differences like Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishnavas, and Harijans. Well, these were the questions thrown on me as I was always his supporter, like the President of the United Nations Mr. Abraham Lincoln, during 153 of his war. His main man came to him and asked him, "Sir, what do you think, is God on our side?" And Lincoln answered, "I am not bothered about this, I'm more concerned whether we are on God's side or not." Means he was not concerned whether God was on their side, but he was more concerned about being on God's side, cause if you are on right side of life, God will eventually be on your side. But since then I was one amongst others non-aware, didn't have exact causes and play behind his creations, was always dumbfounded on many questions thrown on me. Even my 1001st was plagued with questions like, what is bad deed? Pap, what is good deed? Punya, what is sin? Well, after myself, realization with my 13 years of tapas, austerity, penance, I got answer for many questions. But now my one thing changed. I started seeing world from God's point of view. First let's imagine world from point of view of God. He was alone in this entire cosmos for his sheer entertainment or for his play, from his creation, that is his energy. He created everything, sun, moon, all planets, trees, mountains, valleys. 154. Rivers. Then he created animals, but he thought they were not fit for doing anything more in terms of intelligence, enhancing his knowledge in terms of science, creation, and moreover knowledge to know God itself via meditation. He created humans. Now my readers, please realize from God's point of view, if he created all of us one type, his purpose will never get solved, as we all would be doing one work. Imagine if we all meditated, then who continues in creating his life and future generation, which is possible via procreating. And imagine if all indulged in entertaining, and who becomes scientific and speculates deep in God's throne knowledge to us and finds science to body, science to plants, science to universe, science to technology, and more ever science of this God created universe. But above all science to attain qualities of God, science to reach him, know him, which these greatest yogis attain to reach and master. Otherwise there would be no difference between we and animals. 155. What would God get if our intelligence was subjected to only eating, drinking, sleeping and copulating? How would we stand different to animals? In fact, when God created first batch of humans or rishis, or masters from him to start his made world, all as soon as they hit to life they all meditated, and after lots of years of penance, tapas, their minds refused to copulate or to start creation and go back to God, and God got tired from this. So that's how he created 4 castes, 4 divisions in one religion. First, Brahmins, their jobs were to make people civilize, cultured, to get manners so they can live in modest way, and most to remember, respect and worship God from whom they came to life on earth. As we humans, if we didn't know who created us, we would have inflated egos of considering ourselves as God, which in dark age of today most have forgotten their maker, and so is the upward case of crimes risen in the world. We as human, however great we become in terms of science, we 156 have no control over death. We can't stop ourselves from dying, that is, death however great may be a scientist, his ego crashes at time of his death. Actually his ego crashes many types but doesn't accept it. Like natural dog barking is no science, but a dog created in lab barks is science. They get a genes or an atom that has godly element, that's science, but how that particle came and who made it first and kept that, they have no answer for it. If sun shines, no science, but artificial sun created and shines, it's science. But these scientists don't realize that all their study and their lab-made inventions are on what God created world. They study sun, but they didn't make that sun. They are making replica of everything God first created, like genetic sheep, brinjal, but first was always created by God. But the lab-created artificial sun needs man to operate. But if one morning they get up and find the interworld finished, then so does their lab-created sun. Sheep, brinjals. Just couple of years back some world scientist after their 40 years of research came to conclusion that world was going to come to end. All people in world, from media, to people, to all the scientists, were anxiously waiting for that. 157. Moment. Fox News, BBC all had countdowns, but as the clock struck that day and that hour and nothing transpired, all their predictions and study of 40 years went nosedive. Here the scientists forgot that they never created life, nor could stop anyone from dying, so where is the question of them ever declaring end or start to anything? God has thrown this universe off his with sun, moon and all 9 main planets and numerous undetected planets to scientists of the world to speculate. Scientists created nothing. They only investigated and detected and recreated from the same elements of its natural occurrence, only studied from what God made them to see, what God made them to investigate, only of it being the by itself. Second Schnavs, bussiness class, their job was to create jobs, work, bussiness, so we as humans have some liveliness for our living on this earth. Third Kshatras, soldiers, their job was to protect country from enemies. Warriors became from this class. 158. Fourth class Harijans, working, this class was created for working, helping, and learners type, but people started treating and calling them as untouchables. Show me one religious texts which says the fourth class should be treated as untouchables or not fit to be associated with the rest above classes. But just as you see corruption from chemical milk created, chemical sweets created, artificial ghees made from palm oil. In same way each class have somewhere misunderstood their duties and thought they are authorized to abuse in name of being a Brahmin, a Vaishnav, a Kshatriya, a Harijan. Imagine if God created everyone Brahmins, then all would be doing pujas, all would be Maulavis, then who would run our country? And imagine if God created only Vaishnavs, bussiness class, then who will protect our country? Imagine if he created only Kshatriyas, then who will become the man force, working classes to work this country? 159. Imagine everyone as doctors, or imagine everyone as apostrophe engineers, or as apostrophe scientists, or as apostrophe pandits. If everyone became teachers, who does become students? When you hear Brahmins not allowing Harijans in temples, it makes me laugh, as me being a Brahmin, my parents never told me not to associate with the rest class, or when we had pujas done _t let others in the house. That means you are not a true Brahmin, as your duty is to teach Samaj, just like a teacher. If he has no student, you aren't a teacher. Brahmin means having highest virtue, having knowledge towards finer, deeper aspect of cleanliness, having highest knowledge towards purity and knowledge of the highest, that's God and his creation. And their duty is to make for other classes as pure as them in terms of cleanliness towards your body, 1001 ND and soul, after which you become fit to worship God. But if your all 3 are good and you still have differences, ego, ahankar, pride of you being a 160. Brahmin, and if you mistreat other classes because you feel superior, then you are not fit to worship God, as you have impaired your soul. But unfortunately today there are very few Brahmins left in any case. Harijan is a class, for that matter every class is a class which Brahmins needs to pass religious knowledge. That's why God has made you a Brahmana. Of Shanav needs to part his knowledge of bussiness to the rest of the classes. That's why he made you of Shanav. Same goes for rest of the classes. Each one is master in one or the other work. In fact, today a Harijan would be a true Brahmana. Opposite to this, a Brahmana, if he has lost his Brahmantwa, that's his true qualities of being a Brahmin, then he is no more a Brahmin. Due respect to the rest, a Brahmana supposedly to be 100% vegetarians, but how many are really then? In fact, forget being Brahmanas, they are not even Hindus, ones who are staying in America, London and Europe. In fact, most of American, Britishers have become vegans, bio-vegans. 161. And Muslim no matter what he eats never eat pig. But Hindus as per our religious text, as per our Dharma we are supposed to be vegetarians, but ones in India and moreover ones living outside India have and are eating everything I heard, even banned substance as per our religious text, and that is beef, because in Hinduism it is holy, very pure, because from animals to humans we all drink cow's milk. In fact mothers who can't feed their babies feed cow's milk, so it's like killing your own mother, so it is condemned. And rest of the animals, that needs special way of offering which we Hindus don't do or can't do. Like in Muslim it is halal and haram. Halal is pure, means, is a way to offer to God first before the animal is killed. It is offered in a way by reciting prayers where it is assured a higher womb. But remember, God gives you what you give him, he gives what his child ask him. 162. You give, offer him love, he returns back to you, but not onefold but tenfold. You give / offer him flowers, he gives you flowers. In same way does all offerings. Offer him love not hate, offer him flowers not blood. Offer him sweet not animal in form of food. Offer him non-violence not violence. Offer him saved lives of humans, animals, and not taken away lives of them. But we Hindus being soft and practice yoga, which is a spiritual ground of our Hindus which practices non-violence, can't afford to contradict that. Every Shastra from Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, all mention Hindus to be vegetarians. That what is Hindu Dharma? Let's leave this debate whether it is right or wrong. Hindu is born with Vedas, Gita follow it, just as a Muslim follows his Dharma by not eating pig. A Hindu should follow his Dharma, but how many? 163. Are really following? So how many are really Hindus? So what is status of Brahmins? And all Shastras and religion bans drinking alcohol from Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, but how many drink and which type? All of them. You find Hindus drinking, Muslims drinking, everyone. Very few has remained from being a Dharma, Adami, one who doesn't practice rules of his religion, his caste. Just like on not following rules of your country you become Destroyee, so does in case of religion and caste. In fact every person on birth is Shudra, untouchable. Shudra means ignorant, not aware of hygiene, food, knowledge, etc. Only one who is an enlightened, self-realized person is a true to be called as Brahmana. As in Bhagavad Gita Shri Krishna says, even if someone parrots entire Vedas is not necessary enlightened, probably he could be far from being self-realized, as his ego of knowing everything fails him from being humble, that keeps one far from being graced with the divinity. 164. Not even the one in temple, as he thinks he is very close to the Almighty, but his overestimation keeps him miles away. In fact, if you want to reach God, be Harijan who has no ego, who is symbol of humility, which is the first virtue required if you want to reach God. In fact, it won't amuse me to know that in Kali Yuga an Harijan speeding his journey to God more quicker and more in numbers than Brahmins or Vaishnavas or Kshatriyas can or could. Why one is poor and why one is rich. 165. Some days back I saw on BBC News a bird enters a shop every morning, picks a packet of CHPs, flies to the near tree where its children are, there he opens the packet and shares chips with his children. This episode happened for some weeks or months before the shopkeeper knew. Though out of ignorance, but still he picked things which he did not pay for. So what happens to his life account in terms with apostrophe God? Just as you go to bank and get loan, and for years you are paying only interest, and once you pay interest you're paying for principal begins, but in bird's case this is just the principal. He has to return every chip packet's cost to the owner, but what about the interest penalty? That is the crime of theft. That will be fortified by God arranging the bird and the owner somehow in that birth or the next birth to complete that interest. Remember, this is just one birth account of the bird with the shopkeeper, give and take account. Like that we human beings, we get human births after millions of births in various wombs. So the moment the baby opens eyes, he is found in poor or rich, or in healthy non-healthy, or in religious non-religious, in busyness or none. 166. Business as king, as royals, as servants in good family or in not in any family but in orphanage. Here God does nothing to you. You get it as per your deeds of many births. In fact every birth we carry something from the previous birth. Just let us take this birth itself. Imagine if someone kills 200 people and dies of police gun, what happens to his killings of 200 innocent lives? There are people who will say their religion or their texts, Shastras says there is no rebirth, but then tell me how does one who kills 200 innocent lives happens to him, and if there is no justice then why one is born as prophet who is worshipped by everyone, why one is born as Hitler and hated by many? By one is king or queen as Queen Elizabeth and ruled many years and served by many? Well, answer lies in their doings, of which who they are is effect and cause from their actions of many births. In fact when Shastras or religious texts say that there is no rebirths, common man misunderstood this. It meant this body of yours will never take birth, but your soul takes birth time again and again, till. 167. You don't give every interest with principle back your coming on this earth, no one takes from you that. In fact this misunderstanding that there is no rebirth has increased crimes in human beings. As each one thinks let us rob and fill our pockets, who is going to count? In fact the more you rob your people, country, be sure next several births you will born under those people, serving those people, in that country. If you have robbed that country for millions of births as a layman, as lay worker, in poor family TLL, you don't forfeit each and every penny that you took which didn't belong to you or which you didn't earn yourself. This is law of karma, what goes around comes around, which has never failed ever to act in the direction of an action. If you slap someone, be sure before you die that same person will slap you, or if that person is religious or a non-violent person type, then his powers will make God arrange you with that person who will be superior to you or in karmic debt of owing a slap to you and have him. 168. Slap you. Or arrange your next birth in such a way where you will be made to work under the same person you slap and have the account settled. This how God's account is settled. He gives you what belongs to you. If your entire birth has gone in serving him, or poor people, be sure of a BRTH in good family. In fact all seats, however powerful it be, in no time gets occupied by others and dethroned and forgotten over fresh occupiers. But only one seat once occupied, you become jewel on the crown of God and never come in the trap of the cycle of birth and death. And if to be only as co-worker of God as his messenger, prophet, etc. 169. Now some quick handy knowledge to be read before you go to work or start of day. There is no devotion, duty first as selfless service to God. There is no honor higher in the eyes of God as that of your mother. There is no service higher than service to your 170 parents. There is no surrender higher as selfless surrender to Sadashiva, God, Allah. There is no strength as strength of 1001st. There is no wealth as your own nature. There is no completeness as unity. There is no dan, sacrifice as Samadan. There is no sin as lie. There is no crime as hatred and jealousy. There is no penance, tapas, as silence. There is no cowardness as running from your own truth. There is no courage, good deed, as truth. There is no humbleness as forgiveness. 171. There is no joy as joy of freedom. There is no dirt highest than the dirt of your 1001st. And there is no cleanliness highest as cleaning that dirt of your 1001st. There is no poison higher than your poisonous thoughts. There is no higher achievement than achieving right meditation. There is no salvation as happiness. Failure is stepping stones to success. Don't ask if God is on your side or not, make sure that you are on his side. As right is God, truth is God. And if you are right, God's with you. Habits don't die slowly but instantly with strong willpower. Say strong no to the bad habit with a strong determination. That's also called as Sankalp Shakti in the your Buddhist. 172. habit will have died its natural death. And last but not the least, what can your worst of your enemy can hurt you as much as your unguarded thoughts, speech and actions, but once mastered no one can help you as much, not even your parents. 173. 174. Sri Gagangiri Nath was considered Guru of all Gurus by All India Guru Foundation. In fact, Kumbh Melas would only be initiated from him. This sage made me attain self-realization, may you too. 175. His mantra is Om Chaitanya Gagangiri Nathaya Nama. No specific asan place, or specific numbers, just think of him strongly in midst of any calamity. Get his face in front of you in your 1001st and repeat his name Om Gagangiri Nathaya Nama. Repeat as many with joy as much as you feel, and you will be surprised the way your problem has vanished. This thing will bring miracle in your life. First experience it as I did, a full experience before you want to visit him. 176. 177. Remember, even if a mother has 3 children, though she loves all of them equally, but if she knows one doesn't eat without her at all, wherever she goes she will call back home and question her husband very first about the child who doesn't eat without her. My point here is you have to make this sage feel how dear he is in your life. He doesn't want you to do anything special. This is from my side to my readers. Thursday is his day. Just fast on milk and fruit till evening and make something sweet with your food. Offer him and share with your family and friends, or more to some old, poor person on street. If you're working, going to school while you are working, standing in bus, in train, or while cooking food, repeat his mantra and then see miracles heading your life. You will see yourselves getting rid from worst of your problems and diseases. But don't forget not to call him and thank him internally with strong appreciation. Call him with strong, deep feelings and you will feel his presence. 178. Within your small room, or he will give you glimpse of him in your dream as a prophetic dream. Om Shri Gagangiri Nathaya Nama. May we bow with full respect to him. May his grace flow onto you and in your lives. These are siddhas, they manifest at will in any body form. Call him wherever you are. 179. Please email me on the following email ID, mamtakajaki@mail.com. Jai Shri Gagangiri Nathaya Nama. Kumbh Melas would only start on Shri Gagangiri Maharaj's felicitation. He would start Kumbh Melas. 180. Below is URL for YouTube to watch videos dedicated to the Seer/Maha, Yogi Shri Gagangiri Maharaj. Or simply go on YouTube and type Mamta Gajaki and you see videos dedicated to the Great Master. http://youtube.b/gdiuk. Type this URL and you can watch the sage and his teachings in video form. 181. The Seers ashrams are spread all over India, one in Maharashtra, Mumbai, Bombay, in Khopoli. It is on Pune, Mumbai highway. If you ask anyone the Sri Gagangiri Maharaj ashram, they will guide you. Another one is in Gagangad, Kva, another in Mad Island, Thane Head. Another in Nagarjunasagar, Andhra Pradesh. 182. Contact Nose of Ashram, 0091219222 to 68355, 0091219222 to 62764. One last message from the Master. World is coming to end sooner than we or Shastras essayed, analyzed, so please keep your slate clean. 183. Earn money till it can help you maintain yourself. Don't amass too much, least steal something of others, as when you go up you carry only your deeds, as this will judge your future birth or keep your account clear on Judgment Day. One revelation from my spiritual endeavor after Lord Shri Krishna and after him Shri Shirdi Sai there was no forefront avatars of Vishnu, and whoever claim is just nothing but fraud and deception. Be careful. In fact, very soon is his coming, which only highly meditative seers in Himalayas or yogis are aware. So keep your slate and deeds straight, as his coming would be turning point of we humans' future on earth. This book and particularly me will come as a shocking disclosure to my people/fans/relatives. For them they are searching thief/bandit in Rishi Varmaki. For Rishi Varmaki, he has forgotten his previous birth with its good and bad moments, memories, as after spiritual bath of many years your world becomes something else, your ears are no more ordinary, they become divine, so does your audience. 184. And so does your surroundings. Good luck till then. Please email me on how you felt, as this book is still not finished, is kept as an open debate, anyone can question, come for solution or query. mamtakajaki@mail.com. Mamta Kulkarni. Some references and other people viewpoint on the sage. Print to PDF without this message by purchasing Novaptf. http://www.novaptf.com/